Hello, good afternoon. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Brett. This is the best food show in Las Vegas. Maybe also the only one, but the best nonetheless. And I'm really glad that you called us and that we came. So I have this company called D'Artagnan. D'Artagnan, you know who D'Artagnan was? Yes? No? Yes? You know, okay. D'Artagnan was one of the three musketeers who were four actually. And in France, but more especially in my region of France, in Gascony, we are very, very proud of that heritage of those musketeers. The musketeers were courageous. They were not afraid of anything. They were loyal. D'Artagnan was loyal to his king, to his queen, especially to the queen, if you read the book or if you have seen the movie. But most importantly, D'Artagnan and his musketeer peers, they were doing things for the beauty of it, you know, for the mark that it was going to do in life to other people. And that's why I named my company after him, because we are very proud to try to, of course, this is a country, this is a world where you need to be sustainable financially, but it's very important to be able to sleep at night, and it's very important to feel proud of what you do. Life is short, you know. So we've been taking that D'Artagnan motto very, very seriously. One last reason why we are named D'Artagnan is because I'm from the southwest France, Gascony. Gascogne, you know where it is? Above Spain, right above the Pyrenees. Gascogne is a land of duck and geese and foie gras and armagnac and game birds and mushrooms like porcini. And people in Gascony like to eat and they like to do things together. They think they invented rugby, even though rugby is the name of a little village in England. We think in Gascony we invented rugby because of the team effort, you know, because of everybody behind the captain and let's go during the game. And in Gascony, D'Artagnan was born right there in a village called Lupiac. So in Gascony, we all think we are descendants of D'Artagnan. And we might very well be because he was a very active guy, so I don't know. So, as I was saying, D'Artagnan and the Musketeers, they were doing things for the beauty of it and to put a mark. I come from a family of, we can count 7 generations behind me of people in the food business, mostly restaurateurs. My ancestors had an inn. My father had a hotel restaurant. It was the only 2 Michelin star restaurant in the area. It was called Hôtel de France. He's now retired. And so he taught me some basic things about food. And those basic things are very simple. You have to strive always for excellence. And if you do, things are going to work out for you. And to this day, it's true. He's right. You know, in what we've been able to build over those 32 years now at D'Artagnan, at the company here in America, it's true. If we strive for excellence, if we try to be the best, absolutely the best we can be, as far as not only service, delivering and being amiable, being knowledgeable about the products, but also sourcing and putting standards and specifications on the products. And so because of that, specializing, because you cannot do everything right, so you do have to specialize in what you can do right. Well, if you follow that, if you follow that motto, you're going to do right. And so I don't know if that interests you, but I can tell you that a little history about the company. We started from nothing. I had a partner I bought him out in 2005. But when we started, we were two, and basically we started from nothing. We put $7,500 each in the company. That $7,000 were my savings. I was just coming out of Columbia University. I wanted to become a journalist. I tried to escape food. I tried to escape Gascony and my father's business. Also, I was a girl. My brother, a year younger, was destined to be the one taking over one day the restaurant. So I needed to prove to my family that I could do something on my own. So we started with $15,000. The day we opened, we had $30 left in the bank account. $30. And it was not, you know, 32 years ago, there was no crowdfunding, there was no apps to be able to ask strangers to help you financially. And I don't regret it. I think it's better this way, somehow, because that way you don't spend more than what you need, you know? You're very careful about what you do. And so that's how we started. And we started because there was this foie gras farm that had just started and that was about to come out with the first foie gras and the first ducks. And they were a little bit lost as to how to commercialize it. The guys who started that farm knew how to raise ducks, how to make foie gras. They knew how to process them, kill them, but they had no idea how to commercialize it. So they came to us, and that was the beginning of a beautiful story. We knew right away we couldn't survive just on ducks and foie gras. So right away we went into game birds like quail. We went into rabbit, venison, anything we could put our hands on, good chicken that was around with farmers around us. And at the beginning we were very glad when they were fresh. You know, that was a big change and a big thing. And that was the one specification that was very important. But over the years, we've been able to really tighten and get our specs a little higher up on the ladder. And so today, we don't need to go and beg farmers or ranchers anymore. They kind of come to us. And every species of animals that we treat, we have a system where we have an agreement with the slaughterhouse. We also have an agreement with a group of farmers. They know what we need from them, and I'm going to give you, just to make it simple, for example, on a Berkshire pork from Missouri, at the foot of the Ozark Mountains, there are those ranchers, and so we ask them to raise Berkshire, pure Berkshire breed pigs. They have to do that in a humane manner, no stress. They have to have enough ground around them to be able to rotate 4 times the group of pigs, because pigs love to to destroy land, basically. So you need time for the land to restore. And if possible, oak trees around, so there are acorns and there are plenty of things to be able to munch on and have fun with while they are outside and frolic outside. And of course, no antibiotics and no growth hormones, no kind of medication whatsoever at all. That's the principle number 1. And so as we meet with them, we put together a system where they know, it's totally transparent. We know how much it costs to raise them. They agree to raise them to our demands, and then we decide on the quantities, we decide on the price, and the only thing that could change that is actually the price of grain or the price of cereal, which is the price of food, of whatever animal it is, because most of the small farmers sometimes have enough in their own grounds to raise the grain and the feed for the animals, but very often they have to supplement on the outside anyway. So whether it's organic and organic feed or not, That's the one data that is not set in stone that we have to follow the price on. Otherwise, it's very exciting because now we're at a point where we are able to forecast pretty well how many we're going to need in 3 months from now, 5 months from now, 10 months from now, and so we can calculate and add farmers as we need more quantities. And that allows us to have absolutely no compromise on the quantity. We do not ask farmers to grow more than what they can to do it the right way in their farm. So we use only small farms. And that's very, very important. It's very important, especially for poultry, chickens. It's important in general because as soon as you get into a level where these animals are not raised by the farmers themselves or their family, but employees and then employees of employees, and then it becomes just a manager of a big company, those animals are not live anymore. They become gadgets, they become objects, and the respect is lost. And when you lose the respect of what you raise is when you lose the quality of the meat, because you're not going to care about their well-being and the fact that if they don't stress, they're going to be better tasting. Very often I say, a happy chicken is a tasty chicken. And it's true for all other kind of animals. So it's funny this way, we're very close to the vegetarian activists, who want to regulate and make sure that animals are raised the right way and without stress and with good animal husbandry. We are totally in sync with them until one point, and that one point is at one point we kill them. And that's our job, and that's why people like us, because we make them happy. In the restaurant business, what do we sell? We sell happiness. And to spend a good time in a restaurant, the main thing, besides of course the service, is what's in the plate. And so that's something that I feel I miss sometimes, not to have that direct contact with the person who's actually eating the meat. But it's very nice to have this chef as an intermediary who's going to explain what the reaction of the clients were on a specific product. So that is our mission, that is our challenge. Our second mission is, because we do commit to the farmers on the quantities and the price, we also have to commit to use all the parts of the animal. And that's a big challenge. That's much bigger than anything else. Forecasting, after a while, you can try to make it work, even though it's a very perishable business. But using all the parts of the animal, when you are selling to a specific type of industry, like maybe restaurants and hotels more than retail stores, or it's very difficult to be able to sell the same amount of shoulders and legs than racks and tenderloins and loins. And it's a very important part, because if you cannot put the value on those lower cuts, somebody, whether it's us or the slaughterhouse, is going to have to sell it on the commodity market at the commodity price for an animal that has been raised in a way that is more expensive. Small farming is more expensive than factory farming. Making sure that they have room to roam around is more expensive. The way we transport them is more expensive. The way we kill them is more expensive. So it is a challenge, and it is very important to be able to use all the parts. Also, if I learned one thing from my father, and I learned several things from my father, but one very important one, my father always said that a good chef is not somebody who can cook and do good things with lobster, caviar, foie gras, truffles. A good chef is somebody who can take what comes in nature and do something good with all the parts of that animal. And so that stayed with me. This is our mission at D'Artagnan. That's what we do. And so the forecasting, the usage, and beside that, that's pretty much it, because after a while, you know, when you went around all the different species of edible animals, nobody invented a new one. It's God invented those animals a long time ago, and that's it. So granted, you know, there is always progress on how to raise an animal, make it younger or older, and give them different foods, and, you know, make it always better. But there is a finite amount of items that we have on our list, because we decided just not to take any risks, you know, just to make sure that we do things the right way. We decided to specialize solely on meat and poultry, meat proteins, and mushrooms. That's it. So the only way for us to grow, besides those little exceptions of, you know, getting a different breed of chicken and older, etc., the only way for us to grow is geographically. And so that's where we are today. Today, after 32 years, we have a warehouse in New Jersey that covers all the East Coast. We have one in Chicago for the Middle West. We opened one in Houston 3 years ago. And we're opening one in Atlanta in another month and a half. So that's our way to grow. We are targeting Denver as the next warehouse for 6 months or so. And then eventually maybe the West Coast. But the West Coast is a different problem. You know, California has not been accepting foie gras very well yet. And even though we won on all fronts, all the lawsuits, vegetarian activists keep appealing, and they keep appealing. So for us, it's a kind of a weird, you know, on one side, I love California. My daughter lives in San Francisco. I have to go there often to visit her. She's an architect there. On the other, California is the state that might forbid foie gras one day. They tried, they failed, they are trying again. So it's a strange thing for us. So we've been growing this way. Just to give you an idea, today, this year, we're going to be at $115 million in sales. We have altogether, we have 55 trucks. Sometimes I think I own a trucking company. And we're at 260 employees between all the sites. So I don't know, I think unless I go to a totally different subject, which would be the State of the Union of the sustainable and local ingredients in America today,